The one thing I say that Quentin Johnston has going for them is he is on the Chargers, and the Chargers are the pass heaviest offense in the NFL, and that's a fact. The next closest team is to the Chargers is the Kansas City Chiefs. But last year alone, I'm going to just randomly quiz you, Matt, here on the spot. How many pass attempts did Herbert have last year?
662.
699.
What?
And that was with his his hurt shoulder and his broken ribs.
I don't know. He wasn't 100% last year.
Now they get Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator, over from Dallas. I haven't projected for 672. That's probably where you got the number from. That's my projection. 672 inside.
I didn't look it up, man.
Inside of the pass attempts.
Up here. I didn't look it up.
So when we talk about opportunity, we talk about target share, right? We talked about 18% for Bateman or 18% for Odell Beckham. And that's in comparison to the Chargers. Let's talk about 12%. Josh Palmer, I have projected for 12%. Quentin Johnston, I also have projected for 12%. That's 81 targets at 12% inside this offense. And so I don't think that Quentin Johnston immediately steps into, this number 3 option or wide receiver, I should say, because we still have Keenan Allen here. We still have Mike Williams here. Gerald Everett had 80 plus targets last year. Josh Palmer was still heavily involved.
Josh Palmer's a value.
He is a value. That's what I'm trying to say.
Josh Palmer's a value. I don't even like Josh Palmer. You got to understand this. I don't like Josh Palmer. Quentin Johnston is better than Josh Palmer, but at cost, get out of here. Get out. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, round 19.
Josh Palmer's in his 3rd year. He was a 3rd round pick. He's been developing. He's doubling his production year over year. And you think that just suddenly he's going to decide, I'm going to walk away? Because again, you have all these outs. You have these outs. You have a Keenan Allen injury. You've got a Mike Williams injury. You've got a Quentin Johnston injury. That may be the most likely injury of all. That the TCU wide receiver doesn't fire right away. You think that Quentin Johnston's going to be starting in week 1? No, he's not. No, he's not. Quentin Johnston will be the 4th receiver. It will be Josh Palmer starting in 3 receiver sets in week 1. That's how the NFL works. We have to remind you every year. That's how the NFL works. And again, I'm not saying that he's Josh Doxson, the last 1st round TCU receiver that we saw. Just another one of these N'Keal Harry guys were like, this is impossible. How does this guy not do anything in the league? You got to remember, Josh Doxson was more prolific and more athletic than Quentin Johnston. And Josh Doxson did absolutely nothing.
It's so funny you mentioned that. We were drafting.
Nothing!
Dave and I were drafting the hard way. Dave Hubbard, my draft partner. For those who don't know him, he's one of the best fantasy football players in the world. Over $1 million plus in career earnings in fantasy football.
He's amazing.
And we're talking about Quentin Johnston.
Oh,
and Dave is a film guy, right? And he hits a lot with film. And we're talking about Quentin Johnston. He talks about how much he doesn't like him. We're talking about just didn't like his tape. He was, he talked about how he's slow. He talked about how he looks off the line. We're talking about everything. And then I said, who we have him comp to at Player Profiler. And I said, Josh Doxson. And his first response is, about right. Another receiver didn't do shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to kill me. It's going to kill me knowing just how average, because Josh Palmer is sort of a beautiful player in that he is the most average wide receiver I've ever seen. Just where he went in the draft, like late 3rd round, his measurables, 50th percentile, all of his rate statistics, he's ranked 50. Like he's just right. I mean, he's just right there as a fringe starter in the league. Not good enough, but not bad enough. He's just Josh Palmer. He's also Josh Palmer, right? He's just the perfect name, right? It's it's just vanilla. It's the most vanilla player maybe I've ever seen in the league. But in this particular situation with 30-year-old wide receivers in front of him,
there's opportunity.
And one of the quintessential bust candidates we've ever seen in the first round. Behind him, we talk about a touch squeeze or a target squeeze where guys get squeezed out. And you're like, oh, actually, Josh Palmer's in a target squeeze. Actually not. He is perfectly poised for a target boom. It's so easy to see one of Allen and Mike Williams getting injured, right? Missing, let's say, half the season, some injury. Could be a broken collarbone, could be a high ankle sprain, whatever it is, right? And Johnston busting. Just one of those two things, or both, and Josh Palmer crushes ADP. If both of them happen, destroys. So just a reminder, Josh Palmer was steamed up last year into the 7th round by the end of draft season.
Yeah, he was. What you're saying then is the answer is Gerald Everett.
Also, Gerald Everett. If you like that video, be sure to subscribe and activate those alerts so you get notified as soon as new videos drop. And be sure to check out playerprofiler.com. We have all the tools for you to dominate every type of fantasy league. We have a draft kit, Dynasty Deluxe, data analysis, DFS Dominator, and don't forget the player rankings to rule them all.